such a pleasure to meet you because big fan, loved you in Pitch Perfect too,
Thank you.
but really feel like I got to know you because of Conan O'Brien.
Oh, yes, yes. These were the real, that was more deep.
Well, the show, but also the podcast. But Conan is a local legend here in the Boston area.
That's correct. Yeah, Massachusetts.
That's right. He grew up just miles away from this television station here in Brookline, Massachusetts. And he and I share a very similar background, big Irish American Catholic families. I feel like we have a real connection. So I enjoyed hearing you joking with Conan. He's just one of my favorite people on earth. So let's talk, isn't he? He's the best. Is he as nice and kind and sweet in person as he is on the
Yes, Conan, he's absolutely a very nice man. He's only rude when you deserve it.
That's right, when you really get it coming.
Yes.
Listen, let's talk about this whole concept of your podcast, Flula Makes Five, because it kind of brings us back to the 80s, right?
Absolutely. It's a time traveling machine to the 80s and 90s, the wonderful sitcoms that everyone did love to watch. It's a very fun show. It was supposed to be a TV show. I hired my cousin to be the director of photography. He neglected to remove the lens caps. So now it is a sitcom. We have turned these delicious TVs into lemonade, and you can pour it into your ears.
So what was the fan reaction from season one? I would imagine nowadays people feel a little isolated at home. Things were a little dystopian after the pandemic. People are really enjoying that kind of fun-loving, freewheeling sitcom atmosphere of the 80s and 90s, right? Is that what you bring?
Yes, Paula, it's so fun to just turn off your brains and let yourself be entertained, to go on a nice, tasty roller coaster adventure with all of that weird, without all of that very scary gravity stuff. Just sit there and enjoy it. It's very comforting, just like this quilt around my head.
No, you're just staying warm? Is the heat off there in your office?
I am forcing my feelings to feel like it's wintertime, and I love the autumn, and it's 82 degrees in Los Angeles, but I'm telling to myself that it's -5.
Let me ask you, as someone of German descent, what is it about the character that you bring to each one of your performances? I know you've commented before that typically, the bad guy in every movie is a German, but you're so lovable. And you bring a really special quality. Is it your accent? Is it our American notions of Germans? What do you think it is?
Paula, I'm an idiot. I can answer very few questions with knowledge. I do not know what's happening. I'm just very excited and happy to have jobs and to spread a little bit of dopeness, a little bit of Flula, like a delicious almond butter on your toasted breads.
Is a Flula a German dish by any chance, or just a name?
I mean, sounds like an inappropriate question, and it isn't. And there is no dish named after me. As far as I know, no one is named me except for a few dogs in New England, actually. So congratulations.
Good to know. Let's talk about the premise of the podcast. It's a little bit of a fish out of water tale, right? Of a family that hooks up with a madcap German DJ who happens to live in their house, which sounds like a show we would have watched when I was in high school. Who came up with this idea?
Well, this was a very wonderful idea by Alex Hinton, Andy Warmwell, and me. We were coming up with this idea some years ago. It's like if Alf and Mr. Belvedere were one person and lived in a basement and played techno music. That's exactly what it is.
And hijinks ensue, right?
So many drinks and so many highs.
But this year you really have, this is season 2, so people can go back and listen to season 1, get themselves caught up. Hopefully the lens cap will come off this season. Is that right?
I have demanded that the lens cap be removed. I cannot speak for how the hard drives will be delivered to our editor. So let's just hope that that also works out.
We'll see. But you've got some heavy-hitting guest stars.
Absolutely. 0 baseball players, but yes, Andy Richter is there. Very wonderful man to speak of Conan. The Lawrence brothers will also be participating. Seth Green, if you know this person. I know this person. Yes, Robot Chicken fames and more.
And more. I mean, I would imagine there's got to be a Rob Lowe appearance at some point.
Listen, we are waiting. We want the entire cast of West Wing to come.
But, you know, icons of the 80s, they'll all be flocking to be on Flula Makes Five. Just give me a little tidbit, a snippet, an amuse-bouche, if you will, of one of the best moments of this season.
Oh, well, I will sneak it. A very wonderful Halloween episode is coming
Oh.
very soon. And the anchorman, the weatherman, the meteorologist is played by none others than Andy Richter. Oh boy.
Andy Richter. I know a few meteorologists here who are very funny men. So I'm sure Andy Richter will represent them well on Flula Makes Five. And you can get it wherever you get your podcasts, right?
That's right, Paula. And you are next to looks like some DJ equipment. Are you getting ready to perform a rave?
Sadly, no. This is our podcast studio where we have all kinds of equipment and soundproofing material, but maybe in a future life when AI anchors take over, maybe I can become a DJ.
Oh, no. Well, before this happens, invite me to your studio and I will perform a rave for your entire crew.
When you're in Boston, you better get in touch with us. And when you see your friend Conan, tell him how much I love him and how beloved he is in the Boston area.
Absolutely. I will let him know immediately.
Flula, it was a pleasure to meet you. Good luck with this season of the podcast.
Thank you very much.